Hey there, friends. I have a serious question for all of my black male voters out there. Are you guys stupid? Because the Democrats, they certainly think you are. Or at least they think you're making a mistake because you're not doing exactly what they're telling you to do. Surely this little nugget right here hasn't escaped everyone's memory by now.
You have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Yeah, that's a lifelong racist telling you guys that you're stupid. That black people don't know who to vote for. So Joe Biden, a white man who was best friends, who his mentor was literally in the Klan, telling you who you need to vote for because, again, as a black male, you're too stupid to figure it out on your own. So Joe Biden was there to help you. Well, that hasn't stopped them leading into this election. In fact, they've gotten a lot more desperate leading in this election because a lot of people are waking up and they're seeing the actual truth out there and they're realizing, I've been played like a fool for a long time. I'm on a plantation with no fences, yet I'm not leaving. And when I get close to the fence, they tell me, you're stupid. This is what you need to be thinking. Looking back at the 2020 election, you can see where African American men voted for Biden and for Trump. 87% for Biden, 12% for Trump. That, of course, was down for Biden from obviously the Obama years. And they see the Hispanic vote kind of has the same type of trend, although Hispanic people aren't told who to vote for as much as black people. I don't understand why Democrats feel the need to school and instruct black people who to vote for as if they're too stupid to figure it out on their own, but they don't treat Hispanic people the same way. However, they value both of the votes just as much. They just think that black people are too stupid to make up their own minds. But if you look at the black vote among the last three Democrat candidates, you'll notice a trend that is a little bit alarming, and this is why you're seeing the Democrats in panic mode. Hillary Clinton, who was the most unlikable candidate in history, still got 92% of the black vote. Back then, the black community was okay with people telling them who to vote for. And remember, this was on the heels of Barack Obama. So Barack Obama was still super popular and very much involved in telling black people who they needed to vote for. So 92% of them were still active in the voting arena and decided to come out and show support for Hillary Clinton. You see, that's down only 2% for Biden. Again, some of them, probably 2%, realized that Biden's mentor was in the KKK and that Biden literally spoke his eulogy at his funeral. Again, to a former Klansman, Biden has a long history of being a big-time racist. So I think some people decided to sit out 2020 simply because they didn't want to have anything to do with Joe Biden. But again, only a 2% drop at that point. Look at the drop so far. Now again, this is from a poll, so this isn't actual votes cast. But look at 2024 for Kamala Harris, down to 78%. That is a 12% drop from 2020. Now, you know that 12%, those people aren't sitting it out. They're moving over to Donald Trump. And that's alarming the hell out of these people. If you look at this recent poll, this is where your numbers are. Look at that 2024 number down at the bottom. That 78%, that's the number that we just looked at for Kamala Harris. That 15% for Republicans, that's up by 6% from 2020. That is a huge jump. And again, these are polls. This is simply a reflection of the tone of what's going on out there. Those numbers are likely to be much worse than that because historically, obviously that black vote has gone to Democrats and not to Republicans. I believe that when you see the final numbers of the election results, these numbers are going to be worse than 78% Democrat and 15% Republican regarding black voters. Now, it ain't just me saying this. People are seeing this across the entire country from coast to coast. They're seeing it in big cities, Democrat-run cities. They're seeing it obviously in the more rural areas. But this video that I'm about to show you really struck me because it's filmed in Chicago. Now you're going to see some of this one girl who I can't tell she's even black in the video, but she claims that since Donald Trump entered the race that now she's seen misogyny and racism as if Donald Trump has any control over that. It's still the Biden administration, the Harris administration who are in power. But overall, pay real close attention to some of these black male voters. I believe this is why you're seeing people speak down to these black male voters, almost shaming them, not almost shaming them, they're absolutely shaming them, and basically telling them, you are too stupid to make up your own mind. I hear what you're saying, but you're stupid. Let me tell you who you need to vote for. Watch this clip and tell me if you don't take that same thing away from this.
Trump is a very smart guy when it comes to money and promoting and income with money. Kamala Harris, I can't really speak on Ms. Harris because, like I said, I haven't done enough digging. A lot of people don't know much about her.
Really more so worse. A lot of stuff haven't really been getting better. It's just more so making the best of it.
Obviously, life was better, and all of that.
I want to be biased, but I'm going to say I think it's time for history to be made. I just think that's going to be a woman's president.
Trump. Those stimmies was fire, though.
I want Trump to get in office. I ain't gonna lie to you. I want Trump to get in office.
And why is that?
To be for the people.
Well, a lot of the people that I do talk to on the South Side are kind of sort of leaning toward Trump. I think for some of those reasons is because when Trump was the president, well, recently when he was the president, he pitched in to allow a lot of the people that live in poverty. So to those people, his contributions, I guess, really helped them out a lot of it in their minds, in their opinions. He helped change the economy for them at the moment.
I was absolutely not better under the Trump presidency. Ever since Trump started running, I experienced a lot more, racial discrimination, gender discrimination, and I can't speak to the Kamala presidency because she hasn't been president yet.
I'm gonna be honest, I gotta lean more towards Trump because Trump helped the people the most when he was in office. And that's just the honest truth.
I believe that when Kamala is elected towards office, her policies and what she believes in will better fit my needs as a person.
I think I might be more interested in Trump.
I wouldn't say I would be doing better other than Trump. I would say that for economic under bills at a certain point, yeah, but if I must be honest and say everything he was saying, I didn't agree with everything. You know what I mean? Like that. And the same thing with Kamala. I don't agree with everything she says, but whoever can make the greater contribution, I think will be the better person, the better candidate.
Inflation has been terrible. And the person, that was in office, that he wasn't really doing too much for us. Definitely when Trump was in office, there was gas prices that were lower. Go to the movie theaters, not pay an arm and a leg. Go to Publix, Walmart, the prices were decent, you know what I'm saying? I respected that. Out of him. And some people need to understand that everybody's not perfect, but when it comes down to your wallet, we're all in the same struggle. We all in the same boat. So, if they don't, they don't, but they need to recognize that that man is definitely taking care of us as a people.
That's not just shocking to me. That's shocking to the Democrat Party. These young men do not look like traditional conservative men, right? So clearly, you're having a monumental shift. And this is just shaking the boots of the Democrats because the Democrats have taken this voting bloc for granted year after year, after election. They've never needed to spend any money trying to court black men or black women. They never needed to because these people would fall in lockstep. And if they hinted who to vote for, they were going to vote for them. And obviously, they were usually going to vote for the Democrat Party. So it was easy. It was a layup for them. It wasn't like they had to work to get the black vote. Now they're seeing that they're having to actually work to convince these people, and they can't because they have a horrible track record. So they trotted out their savior, Black Jesus, if you will, Barack Obama. This man, a millionaire, multi-millionaire, probably a billionaire by now, who knows, coming out, has never had to struggle like any of the black men in any of these communities that he goes to and talks to. But yet they trotted him out to go tell these young black men that they're too stupid to vote on their own. And that if they're not voting for Kamala Harris, they just must have a problem with women. Because you're too stupid to know that that's who you should vote for. And me being Barack Obama, I'm here to tell you, you're stupid, I'm smart, this is who you should vote for, and this is why you're not considering voting for Kamala Harris, because something's wrong with you, and I'm here to correct that. Check this out.
We we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was. We have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to y'all directly and say that when you have a choice that is this clear, when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you, understands the struggles and pain and joy that comes from those experiences, who's had to work harder and do more and overcome and achieves the second highest office in the land and is putting forward concrete proposals to directly address the things that are vital in our neighborhoods and our communities, from housing to making sure that our mothers and our fathers and our grandparents can afford medicine, and making sure that we are dealing with prices that are too high and rents that are too high, and are committed to making sure that we maintain the Affordable Care Act, so everybody's got health care, and cares about things like education and entrepreneurship in our neighborhoods. And that's on one side. And on the other side, you have someone who has consistently shown disregard, not just for the communities, but for you as a person. And you're thinking about sitting out? I'm not. But, you know, Cousin Pookie might be. You might be. And you're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses. I've got a problem with that. Because part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly now, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that. And I think anybody you are talking to in a barbershop, anybody you are talking to in your house, in your family, at church, who is coming with that kind of attitude, I think you have to ask them, well, how can that be? Because the women in our lives have been getting our backs this entire time. They've been raising us and working and having our backs. And when we get in trouble and the system's not working for us, they're the ones who are out there marching and protesting. And so now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you because you think that's a sign of strength, because that's what being a man is, putting women down. That's not acceptable.
What a condescending a-hole that guy is. Whew. You talk about bring back memories, the 8 years when he was in office. I couldn't stand to listen to this man on television because he always did that. He spoke down to everybody. He thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. 57 states, remember that? Didn't realize we got 50. But this guy is scolding these black men because in general, they're hearing things, an undertone, that people are starting to wise up and think for themselves, and the Democrats don't like that. They need you back on the plantation. Now, I went to the Democrats' website, and I want you to see this. This is from the DNC. Who we serve. Democrats are the party of inclusion. We know that diversity is not our problem, it is our promise. As Democrats, we respect differences of perspective and belief and pledge to work together to move this country forward even when we disagree. We do not merely seek common ground, we strive to reach higher ground. That seems pretty special. That seems real inclusive. I mean, if I were to read that, I would think, wow, they could just use the word everybody and that would show an inclusivity, right? That would show that they're not picking and dividing amongst people, because if they're that inclusive, shouldn't they just say every American? They don't quite do it. There's something missing from their website. Just looking at the picture right here, you can almost get a feel for it because you see what might appear as a white man to the far right over there. Jury's still out on that. I've seen some white women of the rainbow color flavor that have facial hair, so this might be completely void of any white men. And I'll tell you why. If you scroll down on that page, these are the people who they're showing inclusion. And this is every single person on their website. So there's no other group that I cut off or did not include on here. This is the full entire list. African Americans, Americans with disabilities, Asian Americans, and Pacific Islanders, Democrats abroad, ethnic Americans, Latinos, faith community, LGBTQ plus community, Native Americans, rural Americans, seniors and retirees, small business community, union members and families, veterans and military families, women, young people, and students. You know what you don't see on there? You don't see men specifically, and you don't see white people. You certainly don't see white men in this group. That is the only demographic that they left off of their website. Now that makes me wonder, if they feel the need, because they've lost grasp of about 12% of the black population, then if they feel the need to talk down on black people to get that 12% back, then why aren't they going after white men? Have they given up on white men completely? Or do they not want them in this group? I mean, which one is it? It has to be one or the other, because they're not assuming that they're already part of this group, because they're traditionally not in large numbers like they have the African American community, or black community as I like to call it. I don't need to get into your country of origin and things like that. It's black Americans, right? They don't seem to want the white American male to vote for them. Now, granted, a lot of white men, you fall into that LGBTQ plus ABCDEFG category, so y'all can have them. If we're doing the Dave Chappelle draft here, yeah, y'all can have them.
Tell you what, to make all things fair, we keep Eminem, you get O.J. Simpson.
Shut.
No, baby. Incredible. A first round absolutely chock full of surprises.
Unbelievable. Colin Powell and Condoleezza Rice now officially white. OJ black again. What a day.
Y'all can have them. I don't need school shooters in my organization. I don't need any of your plus or your T's to go shoot up my son's school, right? So you can have them. Personally, I think black men should be outraged by this. The idea that a black man cannot think for himself, therefore he needs a multi-millionaire to stroll in there and tell him how to vote. You know, there's a big difference between a multi-millionaire like Barack Obama strolling into a barbershop and telling you who you need to vote for and why something's wrong with you because you don't want to vote the way he says you should vote, and a billionaire like Donald Trump strolling into a barbershop and just talking with people. Now, granted, I know that it's a political thing. If it wasn't election season, of course Donald Trump wouldn't be in that barbershop. I'm not stupid. I'm not naive. I know that this is to appeal to those people, but he's appealing to them. If they weren't listening to him, he would not be there. Barack Obama, on the other hand, is not going there because he thinks people are going to listen to him. He's going there to scold and chide these people and tell them, you're too stupid to vote for who you want to vote for, so I'm here to tell you who you need to vote for. Get your ass back on the plantation. I'm Barack Obama, and I said so.
I don't understand the point that you're making.
God save the Queen, man.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
It's over.